Okay, let us start the second period. Like the class is being recorded in second period. Okay, in second period. So here, so I want to access one more method from this. That is what URL dot. So that method, any method, get host. Okay. So method means I told you that method always will be with the suffixed with the brackets. These brackets are the parentheses. So now what happened? First of all, let me try to check this code whether it what it takes that try to understand. First of all, we will get the result is what. Let me check that. What will be the result we are getting here? First of all, what do you mean of this? Whether URL one. So try to understand that. One is that file, that is get file, URL dot get file. Okay, java dot find dot com. You remove this CLS. Okay, CLS. You run one more time. So you are getting what? Java tutorial. I want to get the host name is what. Try to understand. So code is executed. Executed means get file means from this address, URL address, from this URL address. Okay. From this URL address, I have used the object name here. Means today class, I'm going to explain this URL class. So for this URL class, this part of your net package, and for that I have created the object. Within this object constructor, okay, this is the constructor. Within this I have provided the URL address. So within this I want to know what is the file, how can I get the file, and how can get the host name, and what is the port number. Okay. You paste here one more time. You paste. You write here, as I told you that URL dot. Where is that port number? Port number one. One more method. One more. These are all the methods of what your URL class. They are the object methods. They are being accessed by the object. URL. This is the object created for URL class. You can keep anything XYZ. My name you keep. There is no any issue. Vasu you can keep here. Your name you will keep yourself. Your name means this Madala Virat Chaudhary. Madala Virat Chaudhary. Okay. So Madala Virat Chaudhary. You can keep your name like doesn't matter. Okay, but here I want to keep your URL. Okay. Now no issue. So if I run this button, so I am getting this much of data. What is this port number is equal to 80. This is my host name, my server name, and DNS address. This is also, and this is the file name. Okay, file name. This is, I told you that this is the file name. Okay, Java tutorial. This is the file name. Okay, and this is the port number. This HTTPS port number. Okay, otherwise, if you whatever, if there is no any port number, it will give what? -1. And if you run this one, okay, this is -1. Okay, now after that, if you want to get some more output from this URL address, and you need to copy and paste. For here, you check that get path. Okay, get path. How? URL dot get path. Where is that? These are all the methods, and these are get path is where get path. Otherwise, if you know, you can type here. And one more default path. default port, paste. You want to get what? Default URL dot D. Whenever you type default port, where is the default port? There is no any default ports. Get default port. Here is the get default port. So like that. So whenever you run and you will get all that answers, what is that? So understand default port is 443 and this is file name. So in front of this, you put simple string type of data. Otherwise, this is file. Okay. File, then plus. Okay. In front of this, put what? String, one string, host name. Okay. And then plus. Means what? It looks well. So 443, what it is? 443. In front of that, it is default port. Simply put in front of the string. That is what default port. Okay. Port. After that, plus. Now next come URL get path. You put path. Okay. String type of data. What is the path? Okay. After that, plus string. For get port, you put port number. String always will be put in port number. Okay. After that, now plus. So now in front of all your results, you will get the solve that. What is file? Where is that file? File. You run this. You are getting like this, no? But here it is looking somewhat. We need to put some separators, no? So this is default port. There is no any separation between the answers and your string. So put separators like what you know here. Where is that? Here you put separators like 2 columns. Some space between your answer and the string. Okay. Now let us see what happened. If you run this, compilation will be done. If there is no any error, compiler finds that all you have written the code well. After that, it executes that and it will give the result. So here everything, so file is equal this one. Where is that file? This is the file within the address, within the URL address. This is the file. Okay. And host name. This is host name. Where is that? Within the URL address, this is the host name. Up to this one, up to domain address, domain name. Port number, because here I have not provided any port. Every protocol HTTPS has 80, simple mail transfer protocol has 25. So like that, DNS protocol has separate port number. DHCP protocol has separate port number. If I will not provide any port number here, port number will be taken as -1. Okay. If I provide the port number here with suppose HTTP protocol port number is 80, so you will get the port number as take the port number as 80 here. Otherwise, if you will not provide any port number, it will take as the port number -1. So what about the default port? Default port, and that will be for all of them 443. Okay, and this is the file name. So now you go for Google and take somewhat search and you get that address and paste here in your take somewhat, go for Google, and suppose if I want to take a search and you search is what, take any search like what, buffer reader, suppose buffer reader in Java. Okay, so whenever you enter the total, this is your address. Why you copy this address? URL address. Come to your programming. Here in your URL, so this is what, no? So create one more. Otherwise, you replace. Otherwise, you create one more. You paste the address here. So this is the address. So it is going very length, huh? No issue. You come down here. Is very lengthy URL address we have taken from the now. This URL address you need to put where? In the constructor. This is the constructor. This is the URL constructor. So constructor, what it does, the URL constructor, it will create the objects for every information. Here, this is a protocol. So URL constructor create the, I need to specify here string, one type of comments for your information. URL creator, constructor, sorry, URL constructor. What is the role of here? Constructor. So it creates instances. Instances means objects, okay? Don't be confused, my student. Instance and object both are same. These two words will be used for instance and object, both are same. So it creates, who will create? Constructor. Constructor for whom? URL class. Here I am using URL class, okay? Where is our URL class? This is my URL class, and for that I have created the object. And this is the constructor. Constructor, same class name with the bracket. Within the brackets, I have provided the address. So within that, I want to know what is the file name, what is the port number, what is the host address, and like that. File is where. So now for this, I want to create one more object for this URL. Simply you write object obj is equal to new is equal to what? Obj is equal to new keyword, again URL. Now within this constructor starts with the bracket. Now this total address that is to be kept in double quotation marks. Now I think I need to go for end. It is very lengthy, very lengthy. I have taken from the Google search. Just I have searched from the Google. I have taken this. At the end, you need to finish with the double quotation marks. I need to end with the double quotation marks. Where should I go? Otherwise, you come down here. This is na. You keep bracket and you terminate with the semicolon. Okay, and you put the quote here, double quotation. Now this much of address we have taken. So within this address, okay, by this object, if I want to know all the details, just I need to change the object. Here you change the obj here. Every time obj, okay. Now then come down here. Come down again, use replace with the obj. Now you change this obj. From the second address, I will get all the details. Okay, second URL address obj. Okay, now run this code. What happened? Let us check that. Now your result is what? Your host name, first URL, your host name java t-point.com. Now your host name, your yahoo.com. So in dot search dot yahoo. In dot means India. Okay, yahoo.com. This is the host name, domain name, otherwise DNS name. Port number, I have not provided any port number here. So it has taken as -1. Path is this H, YHS. The default port this much. Okay. So if I provide any port number here, suppose 85, so that port number will be displayed as 85, your port number 85. So this is somewhat class arranged over what is that? Your URL class. Okay. Somewhat information I want to give URL class, that class how to create the object for the URL class, and then the methods. These are all the methods, object methods. So how to access them and what is the use of them. Okay. And now, so I told that URL constructor. Okay, this is URL constructor, means nothing but class URL and same class repeated here with the brackets. Within the brackets, if I pass the URL address, that URL constructor, it create instances for what? Instances for given parameters. Given parameters. Okay. What are the parameters we are providing? Somewhat protocol. I am providing the protocol. I am providing the host name and port number. For them, this constructor create the objects. Constructor. This is two objects I have created. So one class, if one class is there, na, so many one class is there. You can create many objects. Here, URL is one object, OBJ one object. You can create one more object. So these all class and objects, they will come under the concept of OOPS concepts. Okay, object oriented programming concept. I have created a video over object oriented programming concepts and kept in that YouTube. You can go there and see that, because until unless you don't have much knowledge over OOPS concepts, I think it is very difficult to go ahead in the programming. So you must be so knowledgeable what is class and what is object, what are the methods, what is object method, class method, attributes of the class, instance variables, class variables. So the programming, it will confuse you a lot about that. Okay, somewhere attributes are called as fields, somewhere parameters, somewhere arguments. Parameters, you need to understand what is parameter, what is argument. All I have briefed in that in the classes. I try to take the classes very deeply. Every point I want to focus. Maybe somewhere I may have skipped unintentionally, because while studying, while teaching the topics, that moment I will not observe that. The same class, whenever I look my class again, that moment, oh, see, in this place I need to focus somewhat. Okay, then I will find like that. Okay. And some students, they have asked me that, sir, while writing the code myself, stucking somewhere else. Stuck means you are stopping there. You are not getting any idea. Otherwise, logic is not being generated. You are not able to write the code. So that myself, stucking, it is not only your problem. Every programmer stucks, me and anybody can. So nobody is perfect here. But don't discourage yourself stuck. You need to go ahead. You need to refer, but you need to study a lot of theoretical topics first. Once you have a lot of theory knowledge, then you can do the practicals. Okay, stucking, that is in the programming, my YouTube videos, in I think synchronization, in the synchronization, Python synchronization, static synchronization, somewhere I structured the same class I have kept without editing, without editing. Okay, as I structured for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, let it be recorded. Okay, so that's why I want to give somewhat push to you, boost, because of the many students whomever I have attended, they have requested me that, sir, that is I'm not able to focus coding, sir, because getting somewhere stuck. After that, I am unable to go advance. I am unable to go ahead. So that's why, 15 minutes, 20 minutes recording same as it is I kept. I was unable to solve that. I was studying, referring that how to. A simple mistake is there in Python. No, that is what margin. Whenever I was writing the code over synchronization, that moment log concept is there in synchronization. That moment, due to that margin issues, in Python margin, and that is called indentation. By that issue, a code repeatedly giving error. So it has taken 20 minutes to me. The same as it is without editing, I have kept as it is. You see there, then that moment you feel that, yeah, it is to be, it will be happened with anybody. I want to give somewhat motivation to you. All of the coders, they will write the code, fatafat write the code. So anytime you stuck that, okay, don't feel that. Okay, you share with me whenever you call me, sir. That is happened. You need to be very strong, okay, like a soldier. We will get a lot of hurdles while writing coding. Okay, and you need to refer that. Sometimes I laughed over that. One time, whenever I was writing the code, so first line of statement here, I missed the class. Okay, and that is the normal syntax. Once public access mode, after the class, this is a reserved keyword class name. After the class name I have given, it is giving error. But I was checking actually what is happening here, why it is giving error. Simple mistakes that will be happened. After that, whenever I found that, I need to give here class name, class keyword here. Okay, I have given the class name, but I need to give the class keyword. Okay, sometimes you will miss these are what semicolons. Every line of statement in Java programming, that is to be terminated with a semicolon. Somewhere this open brace, this is the for open brace for your class, and that is to be closed at the end, class to be closed. This is main method. That is to be, once you click here, you will get mark here. This open brace for the main. This is the once whenever you close brace, click on, it simply indicates that this is open brace. And once you open try block and catch block, once try block is written, that must be associated with the catch block. And after somewhere else, finally one more block, that is optional whether you want to. So I have left that. Why I have kept try and catch blocks? That is to be, I need to focus here. See, this try block and catch block, without catch block you can't. If you write try block, so it will give error. It will intimate you that a try block is without catch block. So I will explain what is the use and try block and catch block here. Try to understand these. They will come part of your exception handling. Okay, try to understand that exception. Because without, suppose if I want to go in second period, I want to cover that connectionless socket programming. In the previous session, I myself am feeling that completed socket programming in Java by TCP protocol, transmission control protocol, that is connection oriented. I am feeling that completed. That is enough. So today in second period, I want to cover that is what datagram, connectionless socket programming. So let us see. I think 10 minutes are there. So we will focus over this try and catch blocks, because once I have written, maybe some students, they will not be able to understand, whomever seeing. Okay, but I don't know actually this boy Pinappa Lokesh, he is attending the classes. He has shared with me that he has not much knowledge over this. He has somewhat idea over C language, but I suggest him to pick up the classes from the recorded classes I have kept in YouTube. From there, he can improve his programming language. After that, whenever he has any doubt, he can make a call to me, and in the classes, he can ask the questions to me. So until unless you don't have developed your basic class data types, you need to start from the data types and variables in the Java. Then after operators, you need to study arithmetic operators somewhat. After that, you need to go for OOPS concepts. Okay. So now come down here. This is called, this try and catch. They will come part of your exception. Exception is what? Exceptions in Java called errors. Errors, simply they are called as exceptions. Okay. So if exception is there, error is there, in programming, they are called bugs. So rectifying the errors are the debugging. Okay. So whenever error is any statement, these are the statement. Na? So if any error is there in Java, what happened? Java compiler stops there, and next means it compiles the code. It single Java compiler, what it does, all the statements will be checked at a glance, means single look. After that, it will intimate that my dear programmer, in this 16th line is error, and in this 23 line is error. Okay. Okay. You have corrected them. You have corrected them. The syntax errors, you have corrected them. At the time of, okay, now everything is coded. At the execution time, what happened? So some error here in this 19th line, that is what, that moment, next line of code will not be executed. Here it stops and it throws a error. It throws a error. So in programming, so many errors are there. Okay, type error is there, name error is there, arithmetic exception, index exception, of like there's so many exceptions are there. So to get rid of this, to overcome this issue, means why? Because your code you have written after this 19th line, you have written 20 lines of code, means total your code is 39 line. You program, your compiler stops here. Okay, it throws an exception. So next line of code will not be executed. So by my intention is up to last line of code to be executed. So what I do, that where in which line I am feeling that this line of code may throw an exception error, so that will be put in the try block. Okay. Now what I'm feeling that all these line of code maybe raise any error. So that line of code total will be kept in this try block. In try block, you can keep a single line of statement, many lines of statement, you can keep. So I have written all these line of statement in the try block. Block is what? Block means this lines of code, some lines of code, 5 lines of code, 10 a block of code means. Okay. So in catch block, what happens? If any exception error occurs in this line, I will keep the whatever I want to handle the statement system dot out dot println. Here I will keep a somewhat error exception handled. Exception handle this statement. Simply the compiler gives the statement and goes ahead without okay. Now what happened? Try to understand. So if in this line error is there, so compiler will not stop. Compiler goes, okay, this statement will be printed. Next line of code will be executed. Okay, and that error, wherever the error is there, that error stored in this variable in catch block. This E for exception, it is an variable. It holds the exceptions, errors as an object. That error you can get that error as a printout. You copy here, you put paste, you write here simply, you put here E. E means what? That E is a variable. That variable E variable holding whatever the exception, whatever the error. I told you that many type of exceptions are there. Index out of bound exception, arithmetic exception, or somewhat file input exception. So type name error, name exceptions. So whatever the exception is there, that will be stored in this E variable. It is a variable as an object. So I have requested as a printout of that error exception. Okay. So that exception will be displayed and this line of statement will be printed. Next line of code will be executed. So the exceptions, that is very important topic in the Java, not only Java, in Python, to handle the errors as a programmer. So next line of code to be executed to last thousand line of code is there, but somewhat exception error is in the 15th line. So compiler stops there. No, that next line of code, uh, in catch block, whatever the line of code I have kept, that will means this catch block will handle the errors, and next line of code will be executed. So the error, wherever in which line you are feeling that this line of code, this line may be raise an error, that is to be kept in try block. The handled, you need to handle. So the some line of statement you kept in catch block, that will be executed. Okay, and next line of code will be executed. So exception handling, that is part of one topic in Java programming. So under one try block, many catch blocks you can write. Okay, one try block is there, many catch blocks. So you can write three try. Every try block must have a catch block. Okay, like that. Okay, now how much of time is there? I think I think I think it is to be terminated. So a little bit I focus over this. Okay, because na, try to understand about this system.out.println. Here, this println is a method. It is the method of what? Print stream class. Once you keep the mouse over this, it will indicate that this is the part of what? Which class? Print stream class. It is a method. Println is a method. It is part of your print stream class. But I told you that if you want to access any method, either you need to create the object or class method. In 10 minutes or the 10 minutes, we will discuss the basics in the total, the class. I will, okay. Now here, try to understand. Okay. So as I told that this is what Zoom, no? It is free version. I have the free version. That's why it will give the permission to 40 minutes. I think in Google Meet, it provides 1 hour class. Okay. So I think 1 hour is lengthy class. No, we need to give the break for the students. They will get the bore. I am a soldier. I kept 30 years, but I will not get any boring. But I found that many students, they will get bored, and once they will come to the classes, intermittently they will leave the classes and go, because they don't have a lot of tolerance. I found that they are not the soldiers. They are living in the civil society, and they want to get a lot of exemptions. Okay, that's why I felt that okay, 40 minutes is enough. And if I keep like in army 2 hours, 4 hours continuous discussions will be going on. Okay, I don't force anybody to like that. No? So I felt that okay, 40 minutes classes period is enough for in Zoom. Okay, after that break will be taken and next period will be started. 2 periods enough for 3 days of a week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. These classes up to my last breath, I will teach lot of topics: Python, Java, C++, JavaScript, up to my last death of life. Okay, and the classes will be kept because that is one intention. Why do I want to keep there? No? If I leave this here, the classes will be in YouTube. No? Even though my death, so many students will watch the classes. Yeah, one army retired has kept these classes. They will discuss me about my that. Okay, so now here try to understand this println method. It is the method of print stream class. Print stream class, that is part of your IO package. So this method, I told you that method to be accessed with the object, but this print stream class cannot be used to create the objects, but it is object method. So I can't access this method, println method, as a class method. I need to create the object, but this stream class cannot be used to create the, that is called instantiated. One word in programming will be used. Print stream class cannot be instantiated. Instantiated means cannot be used to create the objects. So then there is an alternate solution in Java. Yes, there is a solution. So system class will be used. That system class is the part of your language package. And this out is the object of the system class. So by this object, I am accessing I told you that the println is a method. So method always will be accessed either creating object, otherwise class name. But I am accessing this println method with the object of another class, system class. So this total syntax used to get output on the screen. Okay, this is system dot output println. So here I want to focus here because 10 minutes we have. Here public class, I will explain here what is public class. I told you that whenever your file that is being loaded, that moment two statements, they are one class, one main method. So compiler always looks for the main method. Next, whatever the statements written, statement means one line of code is a statement instruction. They will be executed. Okay. If there is no any main method, compiler, if you change this main method as suppose was to somewhat, so it will give error. If you run this code, it will simply say that missing of main method, class must extend, this is word application. Please define the main method. Okay. Please define the main method as you, my dear programmer, please define the main method as like this. This is the syntax you need to define the main method. Main, compulsory here. You have written was. So, okay. But see, try to understand. It is stating what? It is asking for, my dear programmer, you define the main method like this. So can I change this public static keywords? I can change. Okay, interchange I can. Yes, you can change. But this void line, void is a, it is a void. It returns. It will not return anything. This keyword stating that this method will not return anything. It is not return type. So if I keep void in place of something, any primitive data type it will give error. Always you need to keep main method. It is what? Void statement means this method will not return anything. Okay. So, okay, I have changed this main. Okay. Now this public static can be interchanged. Yes. Public static. You keep static first and then public next. There is no any issue. Okay, next. You run this, it will give an error, no any error. It will give it is executed. So I told you that void, this is what this method, it is not return type. If you put any primitive data type in many primitive data type, I have discussed in the starting classes. Whenever data types, that moment, what is primitive data type, non-primitive data type, only the string is under non-primitive data type. Rest of all that integer, float, boolean, character, all are primitive data. So whenever you keep integer anyway primitive data type, it will give error. If you compile this code, you will get error. It is so it is asking for, my dear programmer, please define the main method as like this. No any integer type, void you need to keep. Okay. Void, it is stating that. So what is the meaning of this public static? What is the meaning? Static means this method, main method, it is not object method. Try to understand, get my point, my dear students. This main method, it is not object method. So you need not to create any object. Like for this URL class, I have created object. I told you that for the class, we can create many objects. Here, this static keyword, which is written in main method, means this main method is not object method. You need not to create. If you want to access this, no need to create the object. So what about the string arguments? This string, this is the array symbol. This is what the string array name. Every array, every variable has a name. So you simply arguments is a array, string array. Array is this square bracket, this symbol of array symbol, string array. Name is arguments. Can you change these arguments as Vasu? Any, you can keep anything. No issue. See, it is executed, your code is executed. There's no any error here. Simply you clears the screen once and you run the code again. So everything is executed, there's no any error. So these public static keywords interchanged. Here, void, always main method is not any return type method. It is non-written, so void keyword must be there. Main name never be changed. String, that is okay. This symbol, array symbol can be changed. Array symbol you can keep in place of array simply 3 dots. There's no issue. And you can change the name of that arguments every because that is string array name. No, you can keep your location name. You keep my name. If you run this one, there's no any issue. Okay. So this is one somewhat focus I want to. This throws exception means main method. Whenever any error is there under this main method, it throws exception error. So now come to the main class. The class name you can change. This is the main class. You comment here, main class. Okay. The syntax is what? Always the main class must be with the capital letters. First letter start with the capital letter. Then after whatever, next come down. Class must be with a class keyword. But what about the public? This is what, if you don't have any public, whether it will be executed? Yes, it will be executed. How it is executed, try to understand. So every class will be declared with the access modifiers, public, okay, default, 4 types of access modifiers in Java. Up to last minute, I will brief whether the class terminated. Okay, I will not conduct the third period. Okay, I want to close whenever I think the rest of 3 minutes, 4 minutes, automatically it will be disconnected. Up to that, I want to give the basic ideas. Okay, if I have the time, na? So why do I want to leave the class? That will be useful to your basic concepts. Okay, okay. Now public that is called access modifier. Try to understand access